Okay, so let's jump right in. We're going to talk about a pretty radical philosophy from a sports psychologist named Dan Valency. And honestly, it completely redefines what it means to be valuable in sports. It's called the 70-30 rule. And trust me, it might just change how you watch games forever.
I mean, really think about that for a second. We are obsessed with points, with assists, with shooting percentages, right? But what if the real engine of victory, the thing that actually decides who wins and who loses, what if it's almost completely invisible to the stats we all look at? So Valency's first big idea is this. Every single game, at its core, is a combat of will. It's not just about who has more raw talent or who's the better shooter. It taps into something way deeper, something our usual box scores just can't measure.
Here's how he breaks it down. It's super simple. Every single action on a basketball court falls into one of two buckets. First, you have skill actions. You know, the stuff that makes the highlight reels, scoring points, dishing out assists. Then you have will actions. And these are the gritty, thankless jobs. Diving for a loose ball, taking a charge, contesting a shot even if you don't block it. It's all about pure effort.
And here's why that difference is so important. Valency says it's this combat of will that's the fuel or the poison for a player's self-confidence. When you win these tiny, unselfish battles over and over, that's what gives you the confidence to let your skill shine when the game is on the line.
Now look, this isn't just some nice-sounding theory. It is backed by a ridiculous amount of data. Valency and his team literally sat down and hand-counted every single action, both skill and will, in hundreds and hundreds of games, all the way from youth leagues to the Olympics.
And what they found, it's kinda nuts. A full 70% of everything that happens in a typical game are will actions. Only 30% are about skill. That means the huge majority of the game isn't about making a basket. It's just about pure, relentless hustle. But hold on, here's the real bombshell. This is the inverted pyramid that flips everything on its head. Valency discovered that the team that wins the will action battle, the team that just flat out out-hustles the other one, they win the game over 90% of the time. It doesn't matter if they have less talent. It doesn't matter if they're worse shooters. Will, quite simply, beats skill.
I mean, that's a total game changer, right? But it brings up a huge question. If this will stuff is so incredibly important, how do you actually measure it? How do you make it something a coach or a player can actually use?
Well, that's where value per minute, or VPM, comes in. This is the secret sauce. This is the tool that makes the whole 70-30 idea objective and actionable. It's one single number that captures a player's total impact, mixing those celebrated skill plays with all those ignored will plays.
And the formula itself? It's beautiful. It's so simple. You just add up all the good stuff. So, points scored plus every single positive will action. Then, you subtract the mistakes, like turnovers, and you divide the whole thing by the minutes you played. That gives you a clean, objective score of your real contribution, minute by minute.
Okay, check out this example because it really nails the point. Player A looks like the star, right? Shoots a very good 40% from 3. Player B, on the other hand, just gets to the free throw line a bunch, but only shoots an average 65%. On the surface, you take player A every time. But look, player B actually scores more points, and not only that, they're performing a huge will action by drawing all those fouls. VPM sees that, it reveals that hidden value, proving that the gritty player who isn't afraid to get fouled and maybe miss a free throw can actually be way more valuable than the flashy shooter.
But look, this isn't just about crunching numbers on a spreadsheet. The real magic here is how this system taps into a player's brain and flips their confidence switch.
Valency talks about these two mental states a player can be in. There's the good version. That's the player fueled by confidence, by dopamine. They're thinking, I got this. They focus on giving to the team, and their performance literally gets a 20% boost. Then there's the bad version. They're playing with fear, full of cortisol, thinking, just don't mess up, and their performance drops by 20%. That is a massive 40% swing based entirely on what's going on in your head.
And when a player is locked in, when they are fully in their good version, totally confident because they're winning that battle of will, they unlock this next level. Valency calls them purple actions, and they are the ultimate expression of this whole philosophy. It's where will and skill collide into one explosive, game-changing moment.
So what does a purple action actually look like? Well, you don't just grab a rebound, you grab it and fire a perfect outlet pass for an immediate assist. You don't just block a shot, you control the block and tip it to a teammate to ignite a fast break. It's the classic and one. It's taking a charge that puts the other team's star player in foul trouble. These are the plays that swing momentum on a dime.
All right, you want the ultimate proof of concept? Let's talk about what happened when Valenci put this system to the test on Luka Doncic's absolutely legendary performance against Argentina in the Tokyo Olympics.
The results they're just staggering. Okay, so the average elite player in that tournament had a VPM of 1.5. That's a really good number. Luka's VPM was 4.8. For every single minute he was on the court, he was producing over 3 times the value of another world-class athlete. It was like Slovenia was playing with extra guys on the floor.
And how on earth did he do it?
Yeah, the 48 points are obviously insane. But look at the will actions. 11 rebounds, drawing more than 10 fouls, 3 blocks. He was just a relentless storm of both will and skill. He was creating nearly 3 high-value actions every single minute. It was one of the most complete and valuable performances ever measured.
But in the end, the 70-30 system, this whole VPM thing, it's more than just another stat. Its real power is that it creates a completely new, shared language for a team to use.
It completely transforms the team dynamic. You go from that old-school model where the coach is like a god and just tells everyone what to do to a real partnership. All of a sudden, every single player's contribution is visible and it's valued. The player who only gets 5 minutes but has insane hustle can be celebrated right next to the 30-point scorer, because now everybody's value is actually seen.
And that kind of leaves us with a final thought to take away from all this. If we pulled this idea out of the arena and apply it to our own lives, what are the invisible will actions? In our jobs, in our relationships, what are those high-effort, selfless things that never show up on any stat sheet but are actually the real engine for our own success and confidence? Maybe it's time we all started counting what truly matters.